Moving on in the bulletin now, no end to the misery faced by Bengalurians with incessant rains lashing the city. The death toll has now risen to 6, with a 17-year-old being washed away in the drain. Earlier, a couple were killed when the wall of the house collapsed, which had become weak due to continuous downpour. In fact, in another incident, a priest of a temple near Kurubarahalli Circle was swept away in a stormwater drain after the water gushed inside the temple.
Even our contractors are ready, our engineers are ready, even public representatives are ready. We are not able to put potholes or the bad roads. We can't because of rains, that's all.
If as if the 4 deaths due to the potholes in the city wasn't bad enough, now we've seen 6 rain-related deaths coming to the fore in the last couple of days, and the latest victim being a 17-year-old from CV Ramanagar who was washed away through a stormwater drain. Now, while the government continues to maintain the highest amount of money is being pumped into the BBMP compared to the other governments, where is this money really going? Is the quality of infrastructure and the roads in particular being provided to the citizens good enough? And is the reason for the pathetic condition of the roads rampant corruption within the civic body? Are several questions that come to the fore while we've seen multiple deaths and injuries in the last couple of days, and especially during this monsoon. Now, while the infrastructure in the city seems to be crumbling due to the monsoons, several excuses are being given by the civic authorities in the city, and especially the politicians are coming out and saying it's unprecedented rainfall that's leading to the chaos. Now, can the government, can the civic agencies here really pull things back together and ensure a safe city to the people and ensure they can get rid of the flooding and especially the potholes that is really killing the people of the city is something that remains to be seen. In Bengaluru, Deepak Bopana for Mira Now.
Let's go across to Leo Saldana, an activist joining us on the phone line this afternoon. Good morning, sir. On one hand, we're seeing almost 4 to 5 deaths due to potholes in the city of Bengaluru. And on the other hand, we're seeing almost 6 people have been killed by rains. And this is the condition of the IT city at this point.
Well, 6 people have died, I believe, yesterday. But if you take all the deaths together in the past month, I think it's 15. So this is the most devastating impact of rain that Bangalore has suffered. I don't blame the rain at all. I blame the rain which the city has been destroyed by planners. It's a contradiction, I know, but the planners of the city have been so stuck up in power games that they have never really bothered to understand what the city, how the city is shaped, how the city is formed, how the city should function. And the destruction of lakes is a major contributor to the type of devastation we see in the city infrastructure. But let's not blame the lakes for not doing their job, because we have not given them a chance. We have destroyed stormwater drains, turned canals into sewage lines, and therefore roads get flooded easily. And the worst impact has been this kind of investment of, in projects like Tender Shore, which have taken all of the city's money and poured it in a few roads within the city center, neglecting the larger neighborhoods. If you see the map of destruction, most of the destruction has happened in the suburban and peri-urban areas, where absolutely no services have reached. Infrastructure has fallen down. And to add to that, the way in which the metro is being built, you have to come and see to believe it. I live off the metro lines, which is under construction. And there's nothing I can do about it, because just 2 weeks ago I have survived.
There are certain questions now being raised. Certainly, many citizens are raising questions on where is all the money going. The amount of money that was allocated for the BBMP in the 2016-17 budget for infrastructure development seems to be going nowhere, with the kind of cases that are coming to light, with the pothole-ridden roads across the city of Bengaluru and with no stormwater drain, even desilting process being done. Where is all the money of the BBMP going?
Well, your sister publication has come out with a report just 2 days ago saying that all of the money has gone into Tender Shore project. The Tender Shore project only caters to areas where the rich and famous live and work. That's 95% of the people don't go there or don't have anything to do with that part of the city. And this is a confirmation that has come from the Bangalore minister. And we have opposed such type of divisive projects. We have said all of the city's money should be democratically allocated. And there is a procedure for that in the law. There is a procedure which requires the ward committees. Even to set up the ward committees, I've had to go to court several times. Court has given directions to set up ward committees so that civic infrastructure, solid waste, lake protection can all be done with citizen monitoring. But the government finds a reason every time to defeat that. Now, unless we understand that cities cannot be managed centrally, they have to be managed ground up, they have to be managed with direct citizen participation. Civic oversight does not mean elected representative oversight. Civic oversight means citizens working with civic authorities to make sure the money they are giving to the city comes back to where it belongs. In their roads, in their sewer lines, in their underground drainage system, water supply system, for the basic civic infrastructure that makes life worth it in a city. Today we have just wasted our decades of such waste been going on. So I guess it's high time now to call the bluff away and make sure that we reclaim our city, and we demand that the ward committees have to be made functional immediately. Just last week I was in court, and again the BBMP came and gave an excuse and said the ward committees have been set up, but they're not made functional because they've not got the blessings of the committee. Now why can't these committees work tomorrow and make the ward committees work day after tomorrow, so that 10 people are there in every ward in addition to the corporator going around and doing things to save lives? It's come to that now. We need to save lives. It's not just
right. The fact that Bengaluru is now suffering, and many valid points there being made by you, sir. The fact that now, what is the next step forward for the BBMP, considering the fact that it hasn't really done its job? We are seeing the kind of potholed roads on the city. We are seeing almost 6 to 7 deaths, in fact more deaths taking place due to their negligence. Is it now time to book them under culpability? The fact that it's their negligence that is claiming lives in Bengaluru.
This is criminal negligence, and it's always been criminal negligence. And I've always said that whenever something happens, if you're injured, and unfortunately, God forbid, if you have lost somebody who you know, please file a criminal case against the authorities. 2 weeks ago, I sent a message to the Metro Chief, Mr. Karola, and I warned him that I am writing this note to you because I have just survived my own fatality because I escaped a pothole that they had created. And I said, I give you half an hour. If you don't fix it and if somebody else suffers, I will make sure you are personally held accountable under the criminal law. Believe me, what had not been fixed for weeks got fixed in half an hour. Criminal liability works. Make everyone criminally liable for their mistakes. It cannot be, why should people die because some official is negligent? Just tell me why.
Right, we leave it there, Mr. Leo Saldanha. Definitely the fact that they should be made criminally liable for the kind of lives they're lost due to not just potholes. We've seen almost 6 deaths due to potholes, and now Bengaluru suffers once again with roads being flooded and almost 6 deaths due to rains there. Clearly, civic authorities at its worst at this given point in time. It is the citizens of Bengaluru who are facing the wrath of all of this, who are facing the reason why the BBMP has been so negligent in fixing the roads of Bengaluru. We leave it there, Leo Saldanha. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.